Would you rather watch the parade from a cozy spot with hot chocolate or walk the entire parade route handing out candy?
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hot chocolate.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's up, College Station? I'm Grace Hollowell, and today I'm joined by our University and Community Relations team with Barbara Moore and Taitelyn Morris-Wise. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes, it is the end of October, but but it is fastly approaching to Christmas time.
Yes, it is.
And whether you're ready to talk about it or not, it's coming. And we are here today to talk about the College Station Christmas Parade.
Awesome.
Let's kick things off by talking about how your department started organizing the parade.
Well, a couple years ago, the BCS Christmas Parade group that had done it for well over 50 years had a couple of challenges related to some infrastructure around medians. That's the word. And so that made it difficult for them in the current state of the parade with the medians to pull it off. And so they came to the city. We talked about possible options for different routes, and it just kind of worked out to where they didn't feel like those options were viable. And so it would have been a Christmas where we would not have had a parade, a larger parade in the community. And so with their blessing, we worked with them. The city manager's office was super helpful and supportive in saying, hey, let's take it on and see what we can do with it. And that is how the College Station Christmas Parade started. And so we're super grateful to Penny Zent and her team who led the BCS parade efforts for a number of years, many, many years, and they did a fantastic job. And so with Penny's blessing and the city manager's office support, we were able to take on the parade in 2023.
Yes, and a parade, especially a Christmas parade, a holiday parade, is something that becomes part of people's traditions that they do every year. What are some of those Christmas traditions that y'all have?
With the parade? Well, I think for us, Christmas starts early.
Yes.
So it doesn't start in December. The first year that we took on the parade, we only had 6 weeks, basically.
Yes.
From the time that BCS decided they couldn't and we decided we could. So that year was super crazy, trying to organize in such a short period of time. But traditions-wise, we have so much going on in the city at Christmas that we're kind of like our own little Christmas place where, you know, you have Santa's Wonderland, we have the homegrowns, and then we have so many other events that are going on in the community. Christmas in the park, that we have sort of been talking about Christmas. We usually start in August.
Yes.
So tradition-wise for us, we just get to work and just try to do our best to get the word out as early as possible this year. We even had people, I think, as early as June and July that were emailing asking about the parade. So that was cool that the interest is there from the community so early, which let us know, okay, it's coming. We got to get the word out early this year. And we were able to get the word out a little earlier this year and get registration out earlier. So yeah. Taitelyn, you have anything on that?
I was just going to add the fact that we start talking about Christmas in July and August. By the time Christmas Day actually rolls around, we're kind of burnt out.
Yeah.
And we're ready to just nap and sleep.
And right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Our Christmas here for our city employees kind of starts after Christmas is over. That's when we can relax.
Right. Yeah. And then the preparations for that also almost coincide with the Christmas parade.
Yes.
So we have a lot of Christmas internal stuff going on at the city at the same time as Christmas in the park. So I agree. By the time Christmas rolls around, most of us are like, okay, I need a break.
Yes, I am ready to not think about Christmas
until next year.
Till next year,
Yes.
yes.
Right.
So with your department, the University and Community Relations, let's kind of give people who may not know an overview of how that relates. You guys are under the city manager's office, so give the people a brief overview of what it is that you do day to day.
Sure. I can talk about University and Community Relations, and Taitelyn can talk about Neighborhood Services. The two are together.
Yes.
And so these are kind of the ones that we handle most daily. So I can talk a little bit about that. So University and Community Relations mainly focuses on working a lot with the A&M departments that are student-facing, mostly for off-campus students. And so we work with those groups in a variety of ways to partner on, ways to educate, and help our off-campus students know what it's like and what's expected, what our rules are and ordinances to live in a college town. So there are a lot of events that we partner together on. We partner together on the off-campus student carnival every year, trying to get off-campus students to know what all is available in the city, all the resources, and so that event has been highly successful. We also do these things called walk and talks, where we go around to neighborhoods where we've had some issues and pass out information on city ordinances and code enforcement related information. We're also partnering together on a conference that'll be happening in 2026. And so our main goal is to make sure that all of our student residents have all the information they need to be successful residents here in College Station. And the other part of community relations is working with the different nonprofits and community organizations that interface with the city or that want to interface with the city, and being present at a lot of those events and making sure that the city has a presence throughout the community in a lot of our goodwill efforts that we do around the city and the community.
Yes, that is very important. I know that our population is unique, to say the least.
It is.
And kind of getting all of our different demographics to be in harmony with each other presents unique challenges.
It does, and I think we also work a lot with our neighborhoods, which Taitelyn will talk about. Mm-hmm. But like our largest growing demographics are 18 to 24 years old and people 65 and up. So
right.
We have the college kids and their grandparents.
Yes.
Are our primary people that we work with a lot.
So the other arm of what we do is focused on a lot of our longer term residents, those mm-hmm. who are here year round and don't leave with the closing of A&M for the semester. And with the city, we have so much going on. We
right.
have so many services that we provide, so many events across visit, across parks, across everybody, that our role with that is to just make sure that they're informed. We work with our HOAs and our neighborhood associations a lot with different changes with council meetings and updates to ordinances and that sort of stuff, keeping them informed on what they need to know and what can impact their neighborhood, because our HOAs and our neighborhood associations, there are boots on the ground. Mm-hmm. They're the ones in the neighborhoods that are affected, and they can provide resources, they can provide getting in contact with everybody.
Yeah.
And so it's very important for us to just maintain that contact as the city. Mm-hmm. And so we provide educational dinners once a month where anybody, not anybody who's associated with an HOA or a neighborhood mm-hmm. association, but anybody can join them. And a lot of other just different, we do a weekly newsletter mm-hmm. Talking about, here's what's going on this week and how you can get involved in that sort of thing.
Yes, and that is something that I think is unique because not a lot of cities have a neighborhood services
Correct.
Or a neighborhood liaison, which you kind of act as the go-between. If a resident has a question, you can direct them on which city department they need to talk to,
right.
Figure out the answers to those questions for them. And I know that is something that I wish I would have had when I was in college, because I went to a university that was in an urban campus, and a lot of the student housing was like here, was mixed in with regular residents. And if I had a question, I just kind of had to figure it out on my own.
Yep.
So I definitely encourage our students as well as our permanent residents here. If you have questions, reach out to Barbara and Taitelyn. They will do their best to answer your questions and direct you to who you need to speak with, get you that information. We talk about the community living course from time to time on the show. Taitelyn helps facilitate that one. And we would much rather you know this information beforehand, before
right.
you get sent.
Exactly.
And Taitelyn has to give it to you in a classroom when you have received a ticket.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So if people have questions or they do want to contact you, how can they contact you?
I'm at bmore@cstx.gov, and you can always reach me there. And Taitelyn?
I'm at tmorris@cstx.gov.
Yes, email is definitely the quickest way.
That is the best way.
Or shoot us a DM on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We'll get it to where it needs to go.
Absolutely.
Okay, so going into the parade, for those who may be new to the area, what is something that makes this parade so special?
I would say the thing that makes it sort of special and unique is that for many, many years, I probably well over 20 years, College Station has had Christmas in the park.
Yes.
And it has been our signature Christmas event. And when we decided to take on the Christmas parade, we are kind of limited in weekends as to when we can do it because we always bump up against whatever A&M's last game is.
Yes.
And then finals and people getting out of town. So we kind of have a tight window to be able to figure out when we're going to do the parade. And so one of the things that I think that we kind of usually have to always remember is we have to get the word out fast, get the word out
Yeah.
quickly. But Christmas in the Park is the event that has always been the signature, and we did not want to take away from that event. We wanted to enhance that event. So what we tried to do was time the parade to where it ended right as Christmas in the Park would be starting, the lights on ceremony that's done every year, the annual turning on of the lights where the community comes out, and we have a lot of our school kids and groups out doing their performances. So we wanted to make it a Christmas event of sorts to where one just kind of dovetailed into the other one. So that was really important for us, was that Christmas in the Park, our signature event, remained our signature event, and that this added to that event and sort of made it a good complement to that event and not something that would detract from it.
Yes, it adds to the celebrating.
It does. It's a little bit more that we can add to it, and so we're pretty happy that the last few years that we've done it, it's been pretty seamless. We haven't had any like real hiccups to where things just didn't work. The parades, timing wise, based on the number of entrants that we have, it usually ends right at the time that Christmas in the Park's lights on ceremony starts. So we've been really fortunate that that's worked well.
Yes, and it is a large event. The parade route is a not a large route for those participating, but it's a sizable route to get everybody organized and in line and make sure things run smoothly. So logistics wise, what goes into the organization of an event like this?
A lot.
A lot.
And, yeah,
a lot more than people realize, I'm sure.
It is a lot. I mean, BCS gave us their Bible,
Yes.
and we had to kind of make some adjustments because our parade was smaller and just everything about our route was a little different. But just the scale of looking at how long they've done it, initially I'm like, oh my gosh, can we do this in 6 weeks? Because it is a massive undertaking.
Yes.
And it is probably our largest community engagement effort that we do, where we truly invite the community to come in and be a part of what we're doing. So it is massive, and it takes a lot of moving pieces. And we have a ton of city departments that participate with us that are part of the team that we could not do it without them. Our traffic team in Public Works,
Yes.
they plan out the logistics and the whole route and the placement and all of those things, and how we get people lined up out of the parking lot all the way down the street to Central Park, the timing of everything, the police department, fire. We just have a number of people that participate with us to make it happen.
Right. And it's like whenever you're thinking of doing a Christmas parade, you don't think of the logistics. Oh, the roads have to be shut down. Like
Right.
people can't drive on the same roads
Right.
that they're used to driving on. People live near those roads, and that's their route to get out. Sometimes the route that we have is their only way in and out of their houses. And so a lot has to go into making sure that the safety aspect, those people can get in and out of their houses if they need to, but B, that just everyone is aware and informed
Yes.
that these roads are shutting down for like 2 hours.
Yes, for like 2 hours.
And it's going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the logistics piece of it is pretty big. And luckily, though, our police and fire had always participated with BCS.
Yes.
So they had some previous experience in some of that. But like the actual logistics of planning the whole thing, it ended up being us and the other team, mostly from traffic and a few others. But yeah, it is a lot to think about. It's a lot to process. And every year we kind of try to find at least one or two things that we could do better. And so it kind of always kind of gets your thoughts going at the beginning of the process. Okay, like, oh, what did work well? We always do a debrief and after action so that we can, look at what worked well, what didn't work well, what do we need to fix for next year, how can we make it better? And so that always goes into our planning for the next year too.
Yes, and it is never too early to start planning, like you said. We've been, starting now for a while, talking about getting things ready for the parade, and registration is open for those that want to participate. So in regards to the registration, who can register, how can they register, where can they register, and when is the last day for them to register?
Yeah. So I'm going to try to remember all of your questions. Who can register? Literally everybody.
Yes.
We've had an entrant that was just themselves walking,
Mhm.
and that was kind of an interesting
that's right.
thing.
Yep.
But we've had one person. We've had a large group of a elementary school in the area, and everybody.
Yes.
There's no entry fee, so there's no cost associated with joining the parade. There is cost on if you're decorating a float, that sort of thing, but that's all on you and your choices. But there's no entry fee for us,
Right.
because we want you to participate.
Right.
And as far as, what we like seeing walking groups and marching groups and horses.
Yes.
We had lots of horses.
Yeah,
We
if
do.
If you're
Yes.
a group that is a big fan of horses and you want to showcase that, sign up for the parade.
Yeah.
For rules and information, and then what you need to apply for the parade, you have to go to cstx.gov/parade, and then all of that information is there, including the link to register. And I think I missed some of your questions.
Oh, the last date is November 14th.
Yes.
And we have a mandatory meeting with all participants on November 19th here at City Hall, which we kind of have to have because everybody wants to know, what number am I in line? And so we have to let everybody know, hey, this is where you'll be in the lineup, and we address any issues that we have at that time. So, yeah, so we have, I think the registration's been open now for 2 weeks. Is it about 2 weeks? Yeah, about 2 weeks. And so we've got a really good number of people that have already registered, and we're hoping for even more.
Yes, absolutely. And with the participants in the parade, there's a bit of an added incentive, bragging rights, for the best decorated or the most creative float.
Yes.
And if you don't have a float, the most creative concept of your walking. So let's kind of talk a little bit about the criteria for that.
Okay, one thing that we do that's unique is we have had a number of city floats that participate from city departments. We had 7 the first year, we had 5 or 6 last year. What we do with that group is we do not have them in the judging with the regular other participants because we don't want anybody to say that there's anything biased. So we do our city floats separately, and we award the winning float at the city's employee Christmas party to that group. And some of the other things that we look for, we don't have a theme because we kind of felt like it was important to not, themes can sometimes make it a little restrictive on how people choose to, do their floats or whatnot. So Christmas is a big enough theme that whatever you can find under the Christmas umbrella is okay with us. And so that's kind of one of the things that we don't really look too much at is, whatever you're doing Christmas-wise, that's fine. We do look at originality, creativity,
Holiday spirit.
Holiday spirit. Those are the main things that we look at, and it's kind of like that for each one. It's a little different for your marching units, a little different for your mounted units, a little different for your cheer and dance groups, but all of them is originality. That is the main thing in creativity, holiday spirit. Those are the 3 things that we tend to look at the most.
Yes, I remember.
I think that's
it. Okay.
There's a lot to remember.
It is a lot to remember.
The first year of the parade, I remember the one that stood out to me the most. Somebody was dressed as Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
With the sewer thing.
Yes, he
and
sure.
the bathrobe.
Yes.
And that was before we started judging for creativity.
Yes.
But he would have gotten my vote.
next year.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Last
And it's interesting. He, funny backstory to that is he goes around and does that at all of our Christmas parades regionally.
Wow.
So he's like a fan favorite,
Yes.
that people just know him because he does that so much. And that was pretty cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
having that Christmas spirit makes it so much more special for the spectators.
It does.
Speaking of the spectators, are there rules that people watching the parade should abide by while these floats are going by, the animals? Some floats will be passing out candy. What do the people who are watching, especially those with little kids, need to keep in mind?
Mainly just not running into the street
Yes.
up to the floats. That's really the biggest safety thing because you never know who can see what, and then on all sides there's just so much happening at a parade that just keeping people off of the street is the main thing
Super
that we
important.
ask.
And what we do is, we're not New Orleans. We're not on the floats throwing off beads and candy and whatnot. But what we do tell our participants is that you can have somebody walking alongside your route with your float or with your group or whatever. And if you have things that you want to pass out, we encourage that. It's just a liability to kind of have people, like Taitelyn said, getting into the lane of entry where people are like actively either in a truck or horse or whatever and may not be able to see a child or someone running up to them. So we've had some really good success with that. We borrowed that also from BCS in that they didn't have people throwing things either. It was someone had to walk alongside the float or the group and pass out whatever it is they wanted to pass out. So, and this year we'll be encouraging people to bring more candy. I think that's one thing we remembered.
Yes.
Is we need more candy. So all the groups that are participating, if you're listening, bring more candy.
Yes, definitely.
For sure.
We are going into the Halloween season, so
Yes.
it'll start going on sale
That's
November
right.
1st. So
That's
get
right.
it now.
Stock up. Absolutely.
Like we said, never too early to
That's
start
right.
preparing. So how do these types of events, like the Christmas parade and Christmas in the Park, how does it bring our city together as a community?
Go ahead.
I mean, I was just going to say, from the floats that we have registered and the ones that we've seen previously, a lot of these people wouldn't be in the same space
Right.
if it weren't for this event. And I think that is just really beautiful to see that and everybody coming together. Like, it doesn't matter what you do in your 8 to 5.
Right.
It doesn't matter what you do with your outside extracurricular activities. You're all here for holiday spirit and joy, and that's just what I really love about it.
I agree. I think the same thing. It's Christmas is one of those times of year where people tend to just be nicer. You just tend to realize, there's a lot of things that go on in the world, and this is an opportunity to do something that brings joy. It's a happy time of year. And so we have just encountered people that have just overwhelmingly been super supportive and wanted to participate in a number of ways. And so it's always been good for us. We've only had great support from the community. People wanting to figure out, hey, can we do this? Can we do that? And sometimes we have to, look at the rules and make a couple of exceptions. But for the most part, everybody that's participated wanted to do it for the same reason, and that is to be a part of the holiday season and bring a little bit of extra joy to our community.
Yes, that is something that it feels sometimes infrequent, those little special moments where we can all gather together and enjoy something that is meant to be fun. So definitely come check out the parade. And we are going to get into now the specifics of the parade.
Sure.
I don't think we mentioned the date of when the parade is.
That's kind of important.
So yeah, it's very important. So when is the parade, and what can those that are attending in the crowd, what can they know? The route, where can the best spots to watch the parade be? Okay.
December 6th,
Yes.
beginning at 4 p.m. And we start at the back of Post Oak Mall on the backside of Wolfpin Creek. We turn left, go up Dartmouth, cross Southwest Parkway, and then get to the corner by the police station at Krennic Tap in Dartmouth. Hang left, and then we go to and we end at Central Park. So that is the route. So anywhere along there is a good place to go. We've kind of enhanced some things in the past few years, adding some sound cues, pumping in some good holiday Christmas music. So hopefully that makes the waiting and in between groups a little bit more joyous. And so I think that anywhere along that route is good. The corner routes might be a little hard to kind of hang out on some of the corners just because everybody congregates there.
Yeah.
But along the whole route, it's just a lot of good sidewalk space and opportunities for people to be able to see the parade. And it's about 1.5 miles, a little bit over of a route, so it's not terribly long. So anywhere along that stretch would be pretty good.
I would say somewhere towards the beginning, especially if we're talking candy.
Yeah.
A lot of these floats will
Yeah.
pass out their candy towards the beginning of the parade, and then towards the end they're like, oh, we don't have that much
We don't have
left.
enough yet.
Right.
Or we don't have any left. I'm so sorry. So I would say towards the beginning of the parade.
Yeah.
But then on the other side of it, we have the judges set up towards the end of the parade.
Right.
And so if you want to see the floats stop or see some performances being done, towards the end near the police department is where we will have the judges set up. And so that's where we'll stop them. They'll do a thing and then get judged and then move on. So either towards the beginning for candy or towards the end for judging.
Gotcha.
And of course, the last person is Santa.
Santa.
So that is the most important dude in the entire parade.
Yes.
And so we did something a little different this year. For the city float, who wins, that float will carry Santa the next year in the parade.
Okay.
So this last year, our electric department won, with water coming in a close second.
Yes.
And so this year's electric department will have Santa on their float. So that's pretty cool.
Yes, that is exciting. I'm excited to see how they illuminate Santa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know that was good.
Yeah. And for those people that are coming to watch the parade, not participate, when should they arrive and where can they park?
I saw people arriving as early as like 2:30.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
while we were setting up.
While we
Yes.
were setting up, people were pulling up, and then while I was setting up the judges' stuff last year, people were coming and then setting down their stuff, and so that was kind of surprising to me because I didn't really notice that the year before.
Yeah.
As far as parking, there's a couple of different spots you're going to be able to park at Post Oak Mall and then walk over, just not in the area that we have all the parade entries lined up. You're not going to be able to park there. The police department is going to be open parking until we shut down the road. And then
the Myers Center.
The Myers Senior Center is also going to be parking. And then there's also street parking available around the area.
Yeah.
Yes, and can people bring chairs and stuff
Absolutely.
like that?
Yeah. We'd encourage
Strollers?
that.
Yes.
We do.
Whatever you can bring to make yourself comfortable.
Right.
Right.
You want to get there early, get your chair out there at 2:30, sit there, watch the setup.
Yeah, watch us go crazy.
Yes.
You want to do that, that's A-okay. We do encourage people, of course, to bring blankets. I think we've had a couple of groups that have talked about offering hot chocolate and different things along the route, so we're still toying with all of that. But we think that it's going to be, hopefully we've put in our bid with to get some better weather this year, because last year the weather was really, really, really rainy and really cold and windy. But even with that, we still had a really, really good group of people that came out to watch, still good numbers. And so hopefully our request for better weather will come through this year. And December 6th will be a nice, bright, beautiful, crisp December day and not a rainy one.
Yes, hopefully Santa can work his weather magic.
Yes, we really want him to.
We will be in a good spot there. Can you share a funny memory or a funny moment from the previous year's parades, setup or during the parade, just something that sticks out as being a memorable moment?
I mean, not memorable necessarily. Well, it's memorable, but it's not a fun memorable. So last year it was raining.
Yes.
And it was pouring down rain while we were setting up in the parking lot. And the Post Oak Mall parking lot, it's graded, right? So then it goes down. But then there's this area that just, it doesn't look like it holds water, but it held a lot of water. And I was like running across the parking lot, and I just stepped full in it, and my shoes soaked all the way for the rest of the night.
Oh yeah, we were drenched last year.
I was drenched. My hair didn't dry until I went home later that night.
Oh
It was so
no!
unfortunate.
It was, and we also had a one of the entrants. They were kind of towards the middle of the parade, and I noticed that they had gotten out of line, and I'm like, what is going on? Why are they out of line? They got a flat.
Oh no!
And so we're like, no, their truck had a flat. So we had to pull them out. They had to get the flat done. So it was like all hands on deck with a bunch of people trying to help them. It was almost like, something from NASCAR, like, a pit crew of people trying to like help them get their tire back on. And so they ended up being towards the end, but we didn't even know if they were going to make it because the weather was yucky and, the whole tire thing, but it worked out well. They hopped back in there, but it was really cool to see people, just all the resources coming together, the folks to try to help them get that done, because they had a truck full of kids who were going to be super disappointed if they were not able to, have their float go through the parade. So that was pretty cool to see everybody pull together and help them get their float back on track so they can kind of roll on through. So yeah, that was a pretty good thing, good community support to see that.
Yes, and it is the third year this year, so third time's a charm. We're going to have great weather, no more flat tires.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to show up. It's going to be great.
Yes.
So one more time, if people want to find out more about the parade, register to participate, where can they go to find that information?
cstx.gov/Christmas, because I think we have all of our other Christmas things on there, or cstx.gov/parade. And so the last year we had, with the weather, about 65, 67
Roughly.
entrants. The first year we had more than that. The weather kind of caused a couple people to back out. So this year we are really hoping to increase that number. Can maybe kind of top what we had the first year. So if you have a group that's interested, please reach out to us. We love to talk with you. If you got a creative idea and you don't know, still give us a call. We love to kind of talk with you, chat with you, and see if we can make it work. So we just want this to be a really great event for our community. And the more people that participate, the better.
Yes, and especially we love to see our schools represented, any of those groups, PTA groups, school bands,
Right.
Yeah.
things like that. Make it a competition
Yeah.
between each other, offer bonus points, teachers.
Yeah, I know, right? That's a good
Definitely,
idea.
it's a fun way to celebrate. I know some of my favorite Christmas memories as a kid were doing stuff with my school, like we talked about that community Christmas spirit. I always remember those fondly. So definitely something for everybody in this parade. Thank you so much for being here. Before we go, we're going to play a fun Would You Rather game, all
Sure.
related to parades and
Okay.
Christmas. Are y'all ready?
We are.
Okay. Would you rather help organize the parade behind the scenes or join in on a float and wave to the crowd?
Be on a float.
We
Yeah,
talked about
yeah.
this before.
Be on a float.
Be on a float.
I'm
Yeah.
actually the opposite. I would rather organize it.
Okay.
I want to be on
Because
a float.
so in high school I was in marching band and I participated in the parades. It gets hot and sweaty sometimes when they're in the middle of the day, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I would just rather organize it.
The organization is absolutely organized chaos.
Yes.
It is
Yeah.
an absolute mess. So, but it falls into place fairly quickly, but it is so chaotic that you just kind of have to stand there and it's like, okay, I'm sure at some point this is all going to work itself out. So for me, I wouldn't mind being on the float. So we're in different spots. Like
Yeah.
last year,
Yeah.
she was down with the judges, so that was a new thing. And then I was back up at the mall parking lot, so we kind of switched off a little bit there. So overall, I think we both kind of got a little bit of, she got to get out away from the madness and go
Yeah.
see some of the cool stuff. Because actually, I've never seen the parade. So,
Yeah.
so-
And that's something too, when you think about, we're a relatively small parade compared to like the Macy's Day
Yeah,
Parade. I can't even imagine
how long that takes.
and the organization of that.
Right.
I would definitely want to be on a float for that one.
For sure.
Okay, would you rather ride on a parade float or be the one driving the float?
For me, I would be on it.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'd rather be
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's less stressful for sure.
Mhm.
Would you rather decorate a float or judge the best float competition?
I'd rather decorate.
I would also decorate
Yeah.
because I sat with our judges last year,
Yeah.
and they had such a hard time
Right.
figuring out like the
Yeah.
scoring and
Mhm.
all of that. So I would rather decorate it.
For sure.
Okay. And would you rather watch the parade from a cozy spot with hot chocolate or walk the entire parade route handing out candy?
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hot chocolate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially after last year's experience, I don't
Yeah.
blame you.
Absolutely. Yeah, somewhere with my leg warmers, a blanket, and like a little stadium chair. That'd
Yeah.
be awesome.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Easy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. It was always a fun time talking to you, especially for the parade. One more time, December 6th, the College Station Christmas Parade. We encourage everybody to be there
Absolutely.
and share in the Christmas spirit.
Please do.
Right. If you're not on a float,
That's
the crowd.
right.
Yes.
That's right. Come out and join us.
And that's what's up.